Hey everybody, happy, what day is it, Tuesday. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to my 4 months, or as you want to call it, third of a year in America live. I'm just going to be chatting basically about my experience of moving from England to America, to California, living life as a Brit in America, things that I've learned, just things that maybe haven't gone to plan or things that have gone better than I expected, all that sort of stuff, so you guys can get an honest experience or story about how life's been here. Hey Amy, if at any point you've got any questions for me, please just let me know. I'd love to answer your questions, because I know before I moved here it was quite a daunting experience. So I'm just pressing next on my screen because some things are coming up and I don't like it. I don't care about these things. Okay, anyway, it's telling me to add filters. I don't want to add a filter. This is me, all natural, like a chipmunk. Anyway, so yeah, before I first moved here, it was quite daunting. There was things that I wasn't really sure about. It was quite a hard visa process. Moving to America has always been quite like something that I've wanted to do, but I've always been quite scared about, well, one, America itself, two, the whole visa application and just immigration and everything. But I did it, and I've been here for 4 months now. I've even left the country and come back when I went back to Europe for spring break, and I got in okay. I was a bit worried that I wouldn't get back in the country after leaving, but I did. All is good. So yeah, just a little chat to talk about how I found things so far. And first thing I want to talk about is like the emotions that I felt moving here, because let's be honest, like, a lot of the time we don't talk about emotions, we don't talk about how things actually are. You know, we can post on social media and be like, oh yeah, life's great, or the sun's shining, or whatever, but you know, we actually haven't spoken about how we're actually feeling. I've tried to keep this as real as possible when I've been documenting my journey here on my YouTube. So for those of you that don't know, I've actually been recording each week that I've been living here. I've been doing vlogs and posting them on my YouTube channel. I also recorded the whole of the trip we did to Europe and posted that on my YouTube channel. I've just finished editing my Paris vlog, so I'll be posting that soon, and I'll also post this onto my YouTube channel. So hey YouTube, once I've recorded it and posted my other vlogs. But I've been recording my entire journey week by week on my YouTube channel, which is literally Bex Eaton. You can go check out my YouTube. I will actually add it in the comments when the live is finished, so you can head to my YouTube and watch the whole visa process. So how I got the visa, everything that it cost me. I basically break down all the costs, how long that it took, all the things I had to do. And I'm really honest about the whole thing. And then I've documented my whole journey here and tried to be as realistic as possible with my emotions. Like, I haven't, hidden anything back. I haven't really cried on camera because I'm not a massive crier, but there are some times when I have felt sad. And that's totally normal. I think people forget that when you move to a different place, even though America is very similar to England, there are cultural differences. You do miss your family. When I moved here, I actually, even though I've been in the UK for 20 months and I was ready to leave, I was in quite a good place in the UK. I was seeing all my friends again. Like, I was, hanging out with people that I really loved hanging out with. And, I was in a comfortable, nice spot. I had really great company around me, and it was quite hard to leave, even though I knew I was coming to America I moved in December, but I knew I was coming since like April. Well, no, I didn't 100% know, but I knew that I started applying for my visa. I found like a family. I just had to actually get my visa approved and everything. So it wasn't certain, but I knew that the plan was in motion. But it was still really hard because I was in a really good place in the UK in terms of like my social life and just my emotions. So yeah, the first month here was quite challenging, just because I moved here as an au pair and I've been a nanny before in different places. I've obviously got my little brother and sister that I've done a lot of childcare work with. I've worked with kids, but actually moving from your house in England straight to this house in America that I'm in now, my room here, which I've made very homely, to live with a family that you've only met on Zoom, and spoken to like a handful of times, is quite a daunting experience, especially at the age of 26, almost 27. And I got here, and obviously I had so many great friends in England, and I didn't have any friends here. I had one girl that was on the plane with me, but because we basically moved here 3 weeks early, hey Bianca, because of Omicron, we decided to move our flight forward from the 7th of January until the 17th of December, because Omicron was getting quite big and countries were closing their borders, and I was a bit scared I was going to get stuck in the UK, especially because I had to activate my visa before I turned 27. So I only had 3 months to activate it. So I was like, right, I need to go. And my sister was having a baby literally around the Christmas period. Obviously, I wanted to be home for Christmas. So it was quite a big, quick leap to move our flight forward and just leave everything in the UK and just go. And my friend, the one that I was on the flight with, who actually lives in San Francisco, she couldn't start work with her host family until the 7th of December, January still. So she went down to stay with a family friend in Orange County. So for the first 3 weeks, even though I had her to talk to like on Messenger, I didn't have her to meet up with, and it was just me in this new house with this new family. And yeah, it was a little bit like, whoa, what's going on? Obviously I knew this would be a temporary feeling, and I kept going, and it was awesome. We did go to Lake Tahoe the day after I arrived, which was exhausting, but so fun. And they were so generous, and it was just great. But yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat the fact that it was a hard experience, and moving anywhere is a hard experience, especially as you get older. Like making friends as an adult, when you haven't moved somewhere, through university, or you haven't moved somewhere as part of like an organised program. Like this was an organised program, but you're by yourself. But then I started to realise there was loads more au pairs in the area. I started to use Bumble BFF to make some friends, and there's like a BFF section on there. I went to au pair meetups and started to make loads of friends there. So now I'm in like a really good spot where I've got a lot of great friends, and I feel like really happy and comfortable. Obviously, I'm always welcome to meet new people. I love meeting new people. So if there's anyone in California, Northern California, San Francisco area that wants to meet up, then please do message me and let me know, because I love meeting new people. But yeah, it's all about putting yourself out there. And especially when you first get somewhere new and you're sort of learning things, it can be quite hard to put yourself out there. And even though I've lived in, this is my 4th country now, 4th place, it's still, every time I move somewhere new, it's been a different situation. And this was one like I've never experienced this before, like moving in with a family and stuff. So it was completely different. But like I said, I just took it on the chin, and I just started to speak to people. And you forget how hard it is when you first move somewhere to meet people. So yeah, once I, realised that, and sort of like gave myself a talking to, and was like, Bex, look, like, you've been here 2 weeks, and you're bound to feel this way. You'll be fine. And I am. It's been 4 months now, and it's literally flown by, and I've done so much cool stuff, and my feelings have gone from like sadness with a bit of worry about not being able to make friends or fitting in, to like absolute gratitude and joy that I actually live in California, somewhere that I've wanted to live for honestly so long. And it's just, yeah, incredible. 1 second, I'm going to read this comment. Bianca says, good to hear you're able to meet new friends. This will be an adventure that you never forget. Absolutely, yeah. It's just about pushing through that initial barrier whenever you move somewhere new, wherever you start something new. It's about pushing through that uncomfortableness. Like, when you step outside your comfort zone, that's when you really grow. And I've definitely grown. I've grown at every place that I've lived, but I've definitely grown even more here. And it is just about pushing through and pushing yourself out your comfort zone to then feel a new level of comfort, and then put yourself out of that again and just keep growing and growing. So yeah, I totally agree. So that's basically how it's been so far in terms of emotions. It's been a whirlwind, but now we're on like a steady wave of just gratitude and happiness, and I like it. Passed my driving test, my Californian driving test last week, so I'm going to have my official Californian license, which I'm really excited about, but didn't know I had to do. So this is a fun fact for you. When I lived in Canada and New Zealand, all I had to do was hand in my British license. Actually, in New Zealand, I didn't have to hand in my license. I just had to pay $50. In Canada, I had to pay, I think it was $50, or was it $100, and hand in my license, my British license, and then I got my Canadian and my New Zealand one. So different rules for different countries. On the cruise ship, obviously, I didn't have to hand in my license because I was not driving the boat. But in California, you have to actually do the full test, so the written and the actual practical test, to then get your Californian license. I get to keep my British one, but you have to pay and sit both the tests to then get your Californian license, and you're supposed to do that within 3 months of living here. So yeah, that's what I did, and it's on the way in the post to me, which is cool, but also something that I hadn't had to do before. I thought when I was 17 and I passed my driving test, I was 18 and whatever age I was, I wouldn't have to do another one, but I was wrong, and that is a learning curve of life. But yeah, that's all done. I had to adapt to driving on the other side of the road, which wasn't too bad because I did it in Canada. So living in Canada, I had a car there. Initially, I didn't get one. I did a bit of driving with my job, but I didn't get a car because winters were so bad there that I just didn't want to drive in the winter. But my final summer in Canada, when I knew I was leaving and I knew I was doing a big road trip around the country, I was like, all right, I need to get a car. And my friend was leaving, so I just bought their car off them. So yeah, I have driven on the other side of the road before, but it still takes a bit of time to get used to it again. There was one point And I pulled out of, on like a main road, it's fine because there's cars coming the other way. But at one point I pulled out of our driveway and started driving on the left side of the road. And I was like, and there was a car coming towards me. And I thought, why is that car on my side of the road? Then I realised it was me on the wrong side of the road. So I pulled over. We weren't going fast, it was fine. Pulled over. And as I drove past the car, I realised it was my host family driving. And I was like, oops, sorry. Trust me, I can drive. I am safe. It was quite funny. They laughed. But yeah, a few things to adapt to. Another thing I've had to adapt to as well is just like the work-life balance here. So the vacation days are a lot less here just in general, well, especially for au pairs. Like in the UK, I think it's standard of like 28 days, which is like more than 4 weeks because it does it obviously in days. Whereas here it's 2 weeks, but that counts as 10 days because it's not like 14 days, it's just 2 weeks, which is a bit annoying, but at the same time, you know, that's how it goes here. And different jobs, if you've been in like a job for longer and you work your way up, then you do get more vacation time. But the work-life balance I do find here isn't as good as Europe or other places in the world. But you know, it's got other benefits here that Europe doesn't have. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts for sure. But along with the vacation time, money. You pay a lot more for stuff here. California's an expensive place. Oh, thank you. Someone just sound beautiful. Thanks. Or even with my lovely, see, this is what I'm talking about. You just au naturel. Yeah, California is expensive, which I always knew, but when you're actually living here, you realise how expensive it is. Like for us, usually if you go out for a restaurant and you get a main course and a drink, it's probably going to cost you around about $30, which is probably about £25. And I would say you can get a main course and a drink in the UK for £17, drink by being like a glass of wine or something. So yeah, it is quite an expensive place. And as au pairs, you get what's called a stipend rather than an actual wage because you live for free in the house. I get access to a car. I get access to also I think we all get free groceries in the house. But then when you're eating out at a restaurant or, you know, doing things with your friends, you've got your stipend to use. And a lot of au pairs in places like Alabama or cheaper states usually get the same stipend, or all of us get the same stipend. Like your family can pay you more, but there's like a minimum we have to get. And in California, that can not go as far as some states. So I'm trying to adapt to what I can spend my money on, and like I did on Friday, try not to spend $30 on Uber Eats that I then leave on my chair and don't eat because I'm drunk. So try not to do that, Bex. That is not a good use of your stipend money. But there we go, it happens. So yeah, just learning to adapt and do things differently, budget money differently. I am still working on my online business, so I'm lucky that I get daytimes off usually. So I take the kids to school in the morning. I work from like 7 till 8:30, 9 o'clock, depending if I've got laundry to do, and then from 9 until 3:30, 4:30, depending on if they have after school activities. I get my own time, so I can do stuff like this. I can speak to family back home. I can work on my business. I can create content, work on my YouTube, go to the gym. So go for, take the dog for a walk. So I am still doing that, but sometimes it's hard to either fit it all in or, balance everything. So even though it's been 4 months, it's been a bit hectic, and I'm still balancing it all and trying to, build those multiple streams of income so that I can do what's the word? Survive out here better. We're not supposed to work as au pairs any other job in America. So obviously my business is in the UK, and different. I've got different income streams from like online, but you're not allowed to do another physical job in the US, which I understand, but obviously then makes it's slightly hard in terms of earning extra money when you are struggling. But that's just one of the rules that we have to abide by as an au pair. So yeah, it is strange having rules in the sense of when I lived in Canada and New Zealand, it was kind of like you get a working holiday visa, you can do whatever job you want, except I think it was prostitution, and you can do whatever job you want, whatever hours you want, however many jobs you want, and you just got on with it. Whereas here, when you're sponsored on a visa, you have to do that job, and there's a lot more rules. Obviously, living with a host family, there's rules that come with that. So yeah, it's obviously I'm 27 now, and it's weird having rules, but at the same time, it's not that bad. And to live in California, it's definitely in my opinion, definitely worth it. So yeah, I'm just going to look at my notes to make sure that I'm like ticking things off, because I wrote things down so you guys don't know exactly, you know, what I'm going, how it's been. But if you have got any questions, feel free to ask any questions about what life's been like here, or if you're curious about anything, or you've wondered anything about this whole time that I've been here, please ask away. Right, I spoke about that one. Yes, okay. So I'm going to talk about like things that have gone well, I think, and things that haven't gone so well since being here, you know, because sometimes things meet your expectations, sometimes they don't, and all that jazz. So I also talked about it being a money situation. Before I came out here, I thought that the stipend would go further than it did, or it does, because you know, California is actually a lot more expensive. I knew it was expensive, but more expensive than I realised. And I talked about earlier how it was hard to make friends. I'm a very outgoing person, and I've got a lot of friends, but the situation of living with a family was quite challenging to make friends, especially as I got older, and I was a bit like, and I had great friends in the UK. It was just a bit of a weird transition for sure, and I did struggle a bit emotionally, but you know, I'm good. We're here. Like there's nothing wrong with having emotions, nothing wrong with going through stuff. I spoke to my family, spoke to my friends, and got through it, and here we are. So those things that maybe haven't gone how I expected. Also, they don't have my hair dye or some toiletries here. So when I went back to the UK, I literally picked loads of stuff up, bought like a 23 kg bag back of like toiletries and stuff, because they just don't have some stuff here and it's really expensive. Well, there's a question. I've seen a few of your stories. You've had jackets and sweatshirts on. Is it cool enough to need them over there? I imagine you'll be roasting all day. Okay, so I'm in Northern California, and even in the winter in Southern California, it gets chilly, like not freezing cold. I think there was like, I don't think it's been freezing here once. Like there's been one time that I wore like a big puffer coat during the day, and that was in December or January, and it was like 10 degrees C through the day. But usually the average temperature throughout the day in the winter is around about between 17 and 20. Obviously you have some cooler days, you have some warmer days, but between 17 and 20. So I just put like a sweatshirt on in the morning, and then usually got it off by midday, and I put it on again in the evenings. The evenings can get a little bit cooler once the sun goes down, whereas like Southern California tends to doesn't go as cold in the evening. So like LA, San Diego, I think once the sun goes down, it doesn't get as cold, whereas up here I was a little bit more northern. Once the sun goes down, it does get a bit chilly, so I tend to wear like a leather jacket, or you know, just a denim jacket, or like a sweatshirt. I don't really think personally you need a big coat. Obviously I've lived in Canada, I've lived in the UK, like it gets cold there. Some people here do wear big coats and gloves and hats in the winter, because I guess they've climatized and they find it cold compared to the summer. I've not been here for the summer yet, for a full summer, so maybe I would have acclimatized by then. But personally, I moved here and it was very warm compared to the UK. With a couple of cold days, but also you would have like a 10-degree day, but then 2 weeks later you'd have a 30-degree day. So you know the average is around about that 17 to 20 degrees in the winter. Like today, I think it's 20 degrees. So what was your response? There's a chance of moving to New LA at some point, Anna Blonde. Yeah, you'll be fine. Like I said, it's not super warm to the point where, especially in the winter, it does get warm in the summer, and especially LA. I've been to LA in the summer, it does get warm, but it's not like 45 degrees warm. Like in some parts of northern central California, like Sacramento Valley, that in the summer that gets like 35-40 degrees, and they have a lot of forest fires, whereas the coastal towns don't really get that as much, which is quite nice. San Francisco has its own climate. Like it can be 20 degrees down here where I am. I live about 30 to 40 minute drive depending on traffic from San Francisco. It can be about 20 degrees down here, and I can go up to San Francisco and it's like 12 degrees and windy. Like it's got its complete own climate, but that's why it's quite nice being down here and then just going to the city on nice days. But great question. Yeah, I left my big coat in the UK. I took it back to Europe with me when I went, and actually left it in the UK because I was just like, I just don't feel like I need it anymore. And then I came back here and it rained for 3 days, and I was like, good. But it's not cold when it rains. So and that coat was like a bit too big. So, you know, just like a light raincoat is good, because it doesn't rain very often. And when it does, it's not usually cold when it rains. So yeah, I am from the UK, as you can probably tell from my accent. Sorry, someone asked me where I'm from. All right, so yeah, they don't have some of the toiletries. So if there's certain things that you like in terms of toiletry wise, I bought them over from the UK after I went home, because trying to send them was really expensive. So this is one thing that I learned. because when I was in Canada and New Zealand, I feel like my mum sent me parcels and they weren't that expensive. I don't know whether it's like American import laws or since COVID and whatever, but sending parcels has suddenly gone really expensive. So my mum spent like £50 sending a parcel to me, which is literally crazy. It wasn't even that much. It had like a book, some makeup wipes, some chocolates. It was like £50, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. That's why when I went home, I just brought loads of stuff back with me. Okay, so what has gone well, or what has gone either better than expected, or kind of what I expected. So Target's great. I love Target, even though they haven't got some stuff that I want, like my hair dye and things like that. Target is just a great place, although I spend too much money in there. This shelf is from Target. Well, actually, the shelf is not from Target. The shelf is from Amazon, but the things on the shelf are from Target. So yeah, great for filling your room up with stuff. So when I came here, I added some stuff. This map I got as a free gift from Instagram, actually, from someone reached out to me and told me he wants to collab with me, so they got this free pin map. But yeah, Target stuff, and I just love some of the shops here. Some of the food, Denny's is great, as good as I remember. Once I've made friends, I've made really good friends here. We get along really well. People, even though again our stipend isn't great, we always want to go out, hang out and do stuff, and people are prepared to adventure, which is really good. And I also get a lot of time for myself, which is what I wanted when I applied for a family. I wanted a family where the kids were able to talk, go to school, I could communicate with me. That I didn't want young babies. I wanted, 4+ kind of age, and that's what I've got. And it gives me a lot of time for myself to be able to focus, work on myself, work on my business, go to the gym, all that sort of stuff, but also hang out with the kids and have that relationship as well. So yeah, that's gone really well, and I'm really happy with the family. I'm really happy with where I am, and the area. The area that I'm in is quite residential, so maybe like something a little bit more built up, just for me wanting to go out and meet people and stuff would be nice. But also, I get a car, so it's not bad. That's basically it. How I've been getting on. The weather's been great. I did expect it to be great. Some days have been, like I said, cooler than I expected. I was a bit like, oh, okay, it's a bit cooler today, like when I was back in January. But most days have been pretty warm, or warmer than I expected, like when it hit like 30 degrees in February. But yeah, it's been crazy 4 months. I can't believe it's been a third of a year here already. But if anyone's got any questions sort of after they've watched this live back, please do leave a comment and then I can get back to you. And as I said, head to my YouTube to check out my vlogs of life being here. I don't think I've really got anything else to say in terms of if anyone is moving here, just remember that it is pretty expensive. Like, for example, a bottle of shampoo is like $12, whereas in the UK it's like £3 or £2. So yeah, it is pretty extortionate, but I love it here. So yeah, that is everything I have to say. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have been getting good advice, or what's the word? I can't think of the word. I've gone blank. Inspiration, and learning things from my videos that I've been posting about life here. That's kind of what I've been aiming for. If there's anything you want to know about or see me post about, anything you're curious about life here, just let me know and I'll try and make some content on it. Yeah, thanks for joining, and see you all soon, guys. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.